G'day all and welcome to LOGR with Wesley. Today I wish to discuss LOGR's docket release and transfer feature. So every now and then the situation arises that a driver may not be able to complete their load and therefore their docket. So this feature allows a driver to release a docket so it is no longer attached to their driver profile and their truck, and this allows other drivers of the same supplier and working for the same compartment to transfer it onto themselves. Now it may be necessary to transfer the docket if a prime mover requires switching, if trailers are preloaded at the compartment and ready for driver pickup, if a driver is reaching the end of their shift and no longer has adequate time to complete the delivery, and it's also useful to transfer at the change of drivers even if the truck registration remains the same. This is to record the transition on the docket and make sure that the driver responsible for the delivery is accredited. Transferring dockets can be achieved through two available methods, which depend on your country of operation. So the first method was developed for Australian clients where rear load carrying trailers have separate registration to their prime movers. So when a driver creates a docket, the driver app records this truck registration that they logged in with on the docket itself, and if this docket is not to be completed by the initial driver, they can opt to release the docket, which then makes it available for transfer to another driver of the same haulage company and working within the same compartment. Now, in order for the second driver to transfer this docket to themselves, they need to log in with the same rear registration plates as is recorded on the released docket. When logging into the driver app, the LOGR default is only to record the prime mover registration. So in order for release and transfer by registration to work, head over to the trucks menu and click the configuration cog in the top right corner. Now here within the driver registration input, you need to activate the rear trailer rego and then go ahead and press save. Now jumping over into the LOGR driver app, you'll notice that on login I will now be required to put my prime and rear registration plates in. So I now undergo the docket creation process, clicking new and then choosing a compartment, product and delivery location. And once you have reached the docket summary screen and accepted the driver declaration, you will notice that there is now a release docket button. Selecting this will allow the docket to become available to other drivers for transfer. So quickly moving back into our e-dockets, you'll notice that in the docket record that the status of the docket has actually changed. So the docket we released transitioned from active to available, and this demonstrates that it is ready to be picked up by another driver. Now returning back to the driver app, I will log in as my secondary driver. So as I go to create a new docket, all of the available dockets for transfer for this driver now appear, so I choose the one that we have just created. And this, once it appears, will now allow us to continue the journey from where the previous driver left off. Now, as we expanded into the UK, this method of matching registration was no longer viable for all of our clients. In the UK, prime mover and loader registrations do not often differ, as drivers carry a set of plates that match their own prime mover that they attach to their rear loader. So therefore, we developed a second option through the docket transfer controls. So go to your desired compartment and select Edit and scroll all the way to the bottom. Here you should find the docket transfer controls. If these aren't available for you, you will need to contact the LOGR support and we'll activate this for you. Now this is the setting which dictates how the dockets are able to be transferred in your e-dockets, and this is either by distance away or by registration. Now as both drivers will be in close proximity to the load as they release and transfer the docket, this distance doesn't actually have to be high. In this case I will set my distance as 10 kilometers, but if you wish all dockets to be available to the drivers of the same company and compartment, select 0 to remove the distance function. Now following the same process, I will log in as my first driver. I will make sure to use different registration plates in order to show you that this still works based off distance alone. I will create my own docket, I will release it, and then I will log out and log in as my second driver. As the docket has been released by the first driver, it is now available for transfer. I will log in as the second driver and then go to create a new docket. Now as both of the driver accounts I'm using here are contractors of the same organisation and they originate from the same compartment and my location is within the 10 kilometre set radius, the docket that we just released will now be available to this driver as well. The ability for drivers to transfer dockets between themselves provides enhanced flexibility and time management optimization for drivers and admins alike. Drivers no longer have to be in person to communicate or to transfer a load, and this makes the process quicker and easier, which allows drivers to navigate possible unforeseen circumstances and adapt or switch drivers as necessary, while also speeding up the overall logistics process. This has been LOGR with Wes, and thank you for your time. I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.